So getting back to it, 101, I'm going to make this 102. The Philippines, as we know on YouTube, is confusing because there is a lot of um, contradiction with the Philippines. People attacking the passport bros and saying that the passport bros are going down there. Now, I believe the passport bros are dying out. Some of them went down there with that passport bro attitude, and they got arrested. Some got jailed because they, like one video I watched today where a man went down to the Philippines and was hitting on another man's wife. And when the man stepped in to protect it, to say, hey man, she's with me, the man proceeded to hurt the foreigner, the expat. He hurt the Filipino. He won the fight over this man's own wife. And the Filipina had to put her husband in the hospital. And this dumb, goofball, idiot, a-hole of an expat got arrested and put in prison. And like Singapore, the just little simple things that we call misdemeanors here in the U.S. Like Singapore, the Philippines will lock you up for years. And they'll leave you in an old, sweaty, smelly cell. You sweating on a whole bunch of y'all all laying on top of each other like dead rats trying to get through a water hole. Y'all all sweating on each other and stinking on each other. Over what? A little simple thing like slapping a woman in the face, or like this knucklehead did, putting somebody in the hospital. And I think it's 9 years just for hitting on another man's wife. See, we don't have laws like that here in the U.S. I wish we did. I wish that, I see a man trying to rap to my wife, and my wife told him, well, there's my husband right there, and he don't get it. Well, how come why don't you come over here and face me then? What? Okay, I should be able to call 911 and say that my wife is being assaulted. That's an assault in the Philippines. You hitting on another man's wife, that's an assault in the Philippines. Out here, it's just like, okay, look, hey man, move on. Why don't you be a nice guy and walk off? You leave this little happy family alone. No, we were happy. But now, so that I don't get arrested for shooting this mud, because I can't beat him, so I'm going to have to use my 9 and shoot him. That's how we do it here in America. If it's nighttime and I'm outside and you messing with my wife and I'm trying to tell you that's my wife, man, why move on, man. Go get your own. And you trying to show off in front of my wife and you trying to act like you can force her to leave with you or something. People get idiotic like this. And they get idiotic like that in the Philippines. And it's not so much the Filipinos that are just idiotic. It's the expats that are going over there. Some of them, a.k.a. passport bros. But it's usually the white dudes. It's not usually the black dudes. Black dudes, no, we go through enough here in the United States. We walk up into a white neighborhood and go into their white nightclub or whatever and start hitting on white girls, and them white girls are like all okay with it, and then the white men get jealous and upset because they prefer black meat in there instead of white meat. Okay, the next thing you know, white cops come in there and arrest everything brown and don't ask no questions and put us all behind bars. Not quite like they're gonna put you in bars in the Philippines though. We'll be in there overnight for almost getting into a fight. But from what I understand, you do crime in the Philippines, it's almost equal to that of Singapore. Except I don't know if they chop your fingers off and other parts of your body or anything like that. That might be old Singapore, I don't know, but I don't think they chop your body parts off or anything like that in the Philippines. I think they do beat you though. They do whip you. I think they do beat you in prison. They beat you before they put you in a cell sometimes. That might be old Philippines. I don't know. But anyway, as you're approaching the Philippines, my point of saying this is you need to approach carefully because you're not in the United States. Don't go over there acting like I'm an American. Look at me. Look at me. I'm an American. Look at me. I'm an American. You a dead American. Filipinos are very, very patient with expats unless they are on a criminal vein where they where they eat and sleep and drink and have wives based on crime. Everything they get through crime. Unless you run into a Filipino like that, okay, they're very patient with you. But they always have a machete, like their Mexican, Spanish neighbors, when they were colonized by Spain, showed them how to do it. Keep a big old machete in the car, behind the door, okay, under the couch, on the porch, wherever. There's machetes everywhere. Sharp and ready to go. And that's just like, ancient China or ancient Japan, the samurai, whichever one the samurai is, the honor of the sword. But they all got guns too. They'll use the machete first if you ain't armed or if you don't know how to fight. They'll chop you up and make you suffer because you don't know how to fight. They'll kill you slowly. But if you know how to fight, they can't handle you. It's going to be like say hello to my little friend, or it's going to be say hello to my big friend. Bring out a big old rifle or something. Okay? They all got guns and they all got machetes. And the beautiful thing about the Philippines is here in America, a lot of us and some of the worst of us are always armed. We're always armed and ready to shoot somebody. You bump somebody's car in traffic, they're going to get out and pull a gun on you. Okay? And get shot. Okay? Road rage has moved up to the number one reason to carry a gun in the U.S. But in the Philippines, they drive more crazy. It's amazing. They drive crazier. And sometimes they go right through the light. Okay, I've seen this in these videos. They go right through the light and all like that. And there's cops standing right there, but nobody. There is less accidents in the Philippines than there is in America. I mean, if you get hit by, you're quicker to get hit by a bike that was trying to get around you, other than some big old van or SUV that was trying to cut you off or was impatient in traffic and you sped up a little bit, they sped up a whole lot and hit you in the rear end and killed your family. In the Philippines, you might get hit by some guy on a scooter who was trying to get around you while you was moving, and he thought he could move around you too fast, and he hit you with a scooter and he ended up in the hospital. You know, I'm watching these guys drive, and they drive slow, like everybody's on their period, or like everybody is, 80, 90 years old. They drive so slow in certain traffic, but then they get like on these private roads and they all drive like maniacs, zigzagging around each other. Everybody's doing the zigzag thing, you know. The Philippines has a lot in common with Hawaii, and not only have expats said this, but Filipinos have said this that have been to Hawaii. And they love Hawaii because it reminds them of, and I heard a video where a Filipino was saying this just a little bit ago in one video that I watched, I can now say last night. He said that in Hawaii, it reminds him so much of the Philippines, the beaches, okay, typhoons, earthquakes from the volcanoes. I didn't know they had volcanoes in the Philippines. They got volcanoes in the Philippines. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, but the volcanoes, eruptions, the typhoons, just like Hawaii. And he said the people are all in the middle of traffic certain times a day. Nobody's in a rush to get anywhere. You know what? I could live like that. If the Lord said to me right now, I'm giving you this company who's going to give you a job in Hawaii, and it's a job that I could do easily, you wouldn't hear from me on this side of the river until probably 3 years from now. I would have to actually get a little bit too over adjusted and organized in that before I do a single video about it, because I'm too busy enjoying myself. Now, the one thing that I'd never been in for a long time, I think my mom, when I was a kid, just a little tiny thing, she took me to Florida. I know that she'd been to Hawaii. And I don't know if she'd been outside the country, but I know she went to Hawaii once. I don't know how she got there. But she'd been to Hawaii. She knew a lot about Hawaii. And she might have been to Mexico before. I don't know. But my mom was into a lot of things that come from Hawaiian culture. And she had records of Hawaiian musicians and stuff like that. And she had everything except the ukulele. She had everything except the ukulele. She never said the word ukulele. Well, then she did say the word ukulele out of her mouth, but maybe once in my entire childhood. Okay. But she adored Hawaii. Okay. And the Philippines is much like, if you look at the videos, it is much like Hawaii, but busier. Hawaii is even more laid back, even though it has more jobs. It's more laid back. Nobody's in a hurry to get anywhere. Okay. Now, one of the things that I think that they lie to you about in Hawaii, not Hawaii, I'm sorry, in the Philippines. One of the things that I think they lie to you about is that there is no fast pace, there is no pressure. I could be wrong, but I find that hard to believe. I believe that people working in the Philippines have to leave extra early so they can be at work on time. And I believe in some places of business they get abused by their employers, like we do here in the U.S. I find that impossible for that not to be happening. Um, with all the fast food and restaurants and just doing all these different things for expats, for Americans or other people coming over there on vacation, the tourist attractions. You cannot work for a tourist attraction, and as many people are going in and out of the Philippines daily, you cannot work at tourist attractions without putting some kind of pressure on your employees. I mean, I think that's a lie that they tell on YouTube. Nobody's in a rush to go nowhere. Well, I guess if you are up 4 hours early and out of the house 4 hours early, when your job is only 20 minutes away, I guess nobody would be in a hurry to get nowhere. I'm not sure. But I think, when you in Hawaii compared to the Philippines, I think, first of all, you have less fast food restaurants in one part of Honolulu compared to another. You don't have that many fast food restaurants. If I've seen videos of people riding around Hawaii, there's not that many fast food restaurants. There's very classic, expensive restaurants that are expensive to, rich people in Hawaii. These restaurants are expensive, okay? The malls and stuff like that in Hawaii are very similar to the malls and that in Asia. The Philippines. They're and not just Philippines, but other parts of Asia too. The first thing I want to visit when I get to the Philippines is the Mall of Asia. And I think the Mall of Asia is not in the BGC. Now, there's malls in the BGC, more than one of them, I think. But I think the Mall of Asia is what a lot of people from all over the world will go to. I think it's Dumaguete. Don't get me wrong. I think the Mall of Asia is in Dumaguete. It's not in the BGC. Quote me if I'm wrong. Is it? Isn't it in Dumaguete? I think that's what I heard last night. That the Mall of Asia, which is the biggest mall other than the Mall of the World. Now, I just heard a week or two ago that the King of Prussia Mall near Philadelphia, right here in my state, is the next biggest mall of the world compared to that big mall in Dubai. But then somebody else said today on one of these videos about the Philippines, they said the Mall of Asia is the biggest mall. It's about as big as the one in Dubai or something like that, they said, or close to it. Okay. So I don't know. But all I know is that, first of all, America can be overrated when you're talking about malls, when a lot of malls here in the U.S. are closing down. The town I'm moving to, there's 5 stores open in that mall. I love the town, and they keep the mall open. And I actually went and had lunch at the eatery, which only had one Asian restaurant in it, Everything else was closed. On the opposite far side of the mall, they had one of them pretzel places and ice cream places working together. And I went and got me some ice cream. Okay. That's it as far as food. And then all the stores were closed. There might have been one clothing store. I don't know if it was Macy's or J.C. Penney's. They might have been open. Now, in all these malls across, I know Pennsylvania, Macy's, if they have a Macy's, Macy's is still operating in every mall. And in some malls, J.C. Penney is still operating, even though J.C. Penney's is losing its franchise. J.C. Penney's and Macy's may be the only things running in that mall. All your discount stores are closed. All your antique stores are closed. They closed the karate school. They closed the church. They closed everything. That's wrong. They're still having church at my favorite mall here that's less than 20 years old. Here in Westmoreland County, Pittsburgh Mills, they still have the church in the mall. They're still having church on Sunday in the mall. They even went as far as to remodel it in there. So they're still having church in that mall. Praise the Lord, that's awesome. But people go to Pittsburgh Mills like they go to Logan Valley Mall in Altoona, where I'm moving to. They go in the Pittsburgh Mills Mall and they walk around. And you go to Pittsburgh Mills, all the best stores are closed. Borders was closed. Borders, I used to go to Borders every week. Borders got me back into reading books. But ever since Borders closed, I don't read books that much anymore, except the Bible. That's the only book I read. And they were selling Bibles in there too. They were giving you better deals on Bibles in there than now. Christian books then got kind of rich since Borders closed. But you could go in there and get good deals on Bibles. Now, Barnes & Nobles, they've closed some of their franchises, but Barnes & Noble is still up and running. They closed some of their franchises. Now they're putting some in other places. And I can drive to a Barnes & Noble and be there within 20 minutes from here. There's one right up here in my area. And there's, it's South Hills. There's one in South Hills. I can be there in 20 minutes or less. And I have been. I have bought books. And a lot of my recent art books are from the Barnes & Noble right up here in South Hills Village. Right outside the mall. But what does this have to do with the Philippines is that people that live in the province in the Philippines, the beauty of the Philippines is that everybody that shops, just like Hawaii, everybody that shops has to drive all the way down to the city. You got to go to Dumaguete, Quezon City, Manila. And there's other cities. Cebu. Cebu has a city. There's Cebu and then there's Cebu City. Okay? There's Quezon City. There's Manila. There's Dumaguete. They all have their own cities. And then Manila is a city in itself, and then they have also the BGC. And there's other ones that are popular that I'm dying. I can't wait to visit. There's some places also in the Philippines that are armed by terrorists. Did they tell you that? There are places in the Philippines that are armed by terrorists. It's like walking into Gaza right now. It's like walking into Saudi Arabia where they are, holding Christians hostage and stuff like that. I mean, they have some cities there where they have armed tyrants all over the place. And you can't just go in there and say, oh, I'm just visiting the Philippines. They'll shoot you. Oh, I'm looking for a hotel. Oh, yeah, they'll take you to a hotel and rape you. Okay? You can't go in there without being, I don't know what is causing the war over there, but there's a Philippine girl that lives in the Philippines. And one day she did video footage of the 3 cities that you can't go in. They're guarded by what Filipinos call terrorists. And depending on where you're going, you may have to go through those places to get to other places. And they're going to come to you with M16s or A14s or whatever. They're going to come to you and approach your vehicle and say, where are you going? You ain't going nowhere in that city. You better be going way further out. And they may have mercy on you for being an expat just trying to go there. After they question you while you pee on yourself, they ask you so many questions with guns pointed at you. Okay? You'll finally be like, okay, move on. And then you're going to be like, no, once I get to where I'm going, I'm getting a plane. I'm going to get on a plane and go to Thailand, or get on a plane and go somewhere, I don't know, get off in Guam or something and come back to the Philippines, because I'm not coming back through this way. I ain't going through that again. That ain't like trying to get into Canada, okay, from Pittsburgh. That ain't like trying to get, into China, okay, from somewhere where you can drive into China. From, that's not the same thing. That's something else. But that's the Philippines. Okay? And you got to be, like, let's say you're in Manila. From what I understand, you got to be driving for a long time to get to these places. And these places are clearly gated off. And, I think, if you get lost, I think, they're going to make you just turn around and go back out. But the girl was saying that did the video, she was saying, don't even go there. And if they allow you to stay there, it's going to be dangerous for you. You probably won't make it out alive. Sometimes they'll let you stay there, whether it's because you got something, maybe your vehicle, they like your vehicle, but you're not getting out alive. And the government, the Philippine government, is not going to come in and rescue you. Now, there was recently, just this week, a situation where these hikers got lost and they got separated from each other. They ended up way out in the jungle somewhere in a compound where they were able to, that was targeted. Now, what I like is that the police, the Filipino police, were worried about these people getting captured by the wrong people or running into the wrong group of people. The Philippines is kind of like Africa as far as going out to the jungle, except you don't have all the crazy animals. The animals will get you first. The lion and the hyenas and the gorillas will get you before a bullet gets you, okay? But in Africa, but out in the Philippines, They got tribal peoples out there. Do you know they have black people? They have black tribes in the Philippines. I saw a video today. A black brother. He asked this Filipino dude to take him on a tour way out somewhere. He took him on a tour where these people live. I seen 2 videos about this. These people are tribal, and they're like they're African. Let's get real. They've been there since some kind of war or something. They ended up there in some kind of war. They migrated there or escaped across the river or whatever. They've been there for years. They've been there for over a century. And they're tribal. They live in huts. They live on the water. This is the Philippines, folks. It's crazy. Meanwhile, while this is going on, you got these cities, and I don't know. I mean, I could read up on it. These cities might belong to communist China, something that belongs to communist China, or something that belongs to Japan. I don't know. They might not even really be Filipino in these cities where they're like locking you out. But they're on Filipino soil. Okay? To the point to where if you keep on going, you can find a beautiful province in the Philippines. You can find beautiful cities past them in the Philippines. Okay? They're but you got to be careful. Now, I think that if you get captured by these people or something, I think the Filipino government will let you be captured for a while before they come and get you, but they will eventually come get you. Once they have all their facts straight, they will come and bring an army in there and come get you out of there, especially as an expat or a foreigner. They will get you out of there. Okay? I will agree that the Philippines is usually really good too. And I think these hikers were missing for about a week, and they got them out of there. And the older guys, they looked exhausted. They looked hungry, like they haven't eaten in days, and all like that. And what was bad though is the one lady. I thought it was just the girls, but you got a Filipino young, healthy man, and I'm pretty sure he's younger than her. Or maybe he's older. I don't know. But he looks like he's younger than her. She looks like she's older than him. She's obese. She looks obese from the camera. Now, maybe standing straight up, she's just a full-figured woman. But from the camera angle, she looks obese. So you got a Filipino dude with a white woman that is obese. He's in great shape. He's all skinny and that. He almost looked like he's a little bit gay or something, okay? But he's with this bull dagger, aggressive. My watch is making noise and I don't even know where it's at. Way over there. You done? But it's not just the women that are doing this, that are hooking up with, chubby black and white men, old men. The men do it too. Especially if you're white. I mean, they celebrate white people in the Philippines. To the point where, you think a black man goes over there and get with these Filipino ladies and he gets treated like a king. Oh, white man goes over there and gets treated like God. I mean, look at the video. White man walking through a city, walking through the mall, whatever. He say hi, they go, you black and you walk through, you say hello, they be like, yeah, start dancing and junk like, yeah, like you fresh meat or something. But the white dude walk by, oh, 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 oh. You know, it almost feels like racism to me. And it almost feels retarded and gullible to me. Any woman that would look at a white man, whether she's white, whether she's black, whether she's Asian, Spanish, whatever, look at a white man and act like Jesus. Well, wait a minute, they didn't treat Jesus like that. Who can I define that to? A God. But even a Filipino woman said it today in a video that I watched yesterday. She said, difference between black men and white men is black men are not going to let you scam them. They're not going to let you take advantage of them. Okay. And they're not going to let you tell them we're going to have long distance relationship. Black men ain't going to let you do that. If black man is really, really in love with you, he expects you to leave with him when he goes back to his home country. If he's really, really in love with you, he expects you to make the Philippines no longer your only home, but your second home. He'll be glad to go back home. And when he go home, he taking you with him. I'm the same way. It must be something in my blood. I feel the same way, brother. I don't believe in that long distance. Now, Sunshine Shoulders right now is in Kentucky. And he's going to go stop in Chicago before he gets back on the plane and heads back home to the Philippines. He's letting his beautiful Filipino woman, and I think she's like only in her like 40s. I think she's in her early 40s. Very beautiful though. I do not trust that. I'm sorry. All the banging, and all the cheating that goes on in the Philippines, and all the scamming that goes on in the Philippines. I do not trust a Filipino woman if she got anything beautiful about herself to say, honey, you go ahead on home to the States. I'm going to stay here. And this is natural in the Philippines. The only way I would let a woman, even here in America, have that much space between her and I is if, first of all, I'm dumb enough to let my wife have a business. I'm dumb enough to let her have a business. Or not a business, but a job while I run a business. Instead of her being a stay-at-home wife, she's out there running a business. Or I'm sorry, she's out there working a job while I'm running a business. I have passive income. I can go wherever I want to go anytime I want. But you know how American women are. They got to have their own. They don't want to be property, so to speak, of a man. Where actually that's Bible. Okay, to be property of a man. They don't want to be property of a man. They don't want to be submissive. This is the problem with American women. But they're the same way in the Philippines, though. Even though the Filipino women, the minute they walk in your house, they start cooking, they start cleaning, they start organizing shoes and stuff, spraying for roaches and bugs and stuff. And they just start, you know, and then they may think that, he wants his BJ, so they get down on their knees or whatever. I mean, they are them kind of women. They work and then they feel like Well, maybe he wants sex. I don't want him in the thing. They cover all the bases. But then later on, tomorrow, when you're doing the video in the early evening, my question to all you white expats, where is your wife while you're doing this video? I'm going to tell you where your wife is at. She's either out there sleeping with another man, or in the mall shopping with him or something like that, or she's out there doing TikTok and she got this fan base of all these men telling her, okay, how bad he wants to sleep with her and all like this, and he's coming to the Philippines and he wants to see her and all this kind of stuff. I do not trust any woman who has a YouTube channel, TikTok channel, Instagram, or whatever, and your husband, oh, it makes me mad. People don't understand what frickin' marriage is about. You don't get to have your own YouTube channel when you got a husband. Your husband is on your YouTube channel. Your wife is on your YouTube channel. Your wife or your husband is on your TikTok, your Instagram. Everybody's supposed to know that you just got married. And you lied to it. And some of these white men, they're treated like gods. I wonder why. Because he don't care if you're out there getting filmed by some other dude while he's got a heart on to screw your wife. You don't care about him out there filming your wife, doing everything in the book with the hope of screwing your wife. And this is nonstop in the Philippines. It's like a sex cult. This is Philippines 102, baby. It's like a sex cult. And you still stay in the Philippines. Some guys have gotten so hurt by this. If you love a woman, you would be hurt. If you really, really love a woman and you know that she's been cheating on you with another expat out of all people, then you wonder why expats are fighting and getting put in prison. You wonder why Filipinos are pulling guns on expats. You wonder why a expat goes into a Filipino village looking for his wife. One guy, they showed one video of a guy going into a Filipino video, looking for the people that said stuff about his wife. Brother, you ain't in Tennessee. Brother, this ain't Memphis. Brother, this ain't Louisiana. You better take your butt back to your compound or you ain't in your home country, brother. You better, and you ain't down south. You ain't in no sundown city. You better take your butt back. You forgot that you was white on Filipino soil, and white men do this like nonstop. Black people are like, oh, I'm a black man on Filipino soil. They got it right, even though they don't get it right here in America. They got it right out there. But white men, they're walking around like they gods, and they getting treated like gods until you walked into a impoverished Filipino village, and a dude pulled out a machete on you, or pulled out a gun on you. There's a video that I got waiting that I gotta watch. I have it in the memory right now as we speak. I got it in memory. I'm going to be watching it when I do this, get done doing this video. It's about more murders. This old man said there's more murders, more deaths in the Philippines, more expat deaths and murders in the Philippines. And the Filipina P wants to sit there and say that Filipinos are not Filipinos are not jealous of you coming over there taking their women. I don't think it's jealousy either, because, I'm sitting there watching this white man film this girl. She looks like somebody's kid. And she's walking around, doing her thing. And I mean, and she's really young looking. I mean, how old is that girl? And you're letting her model for the pictures. And don't get me wrong, some of these dads will, if you pay the money, they'll prostitute their daughters. Okay? And again, it don't work out with that daughter, he'll let you, if the other girl act like she attracted to you, he'll let you do her too. But this girl looks young. She's skinny like a child. She looks young. Meanwhile, there's a dude sitting there that's obviously, natural born Filipino sitting there. And he's looking. He acts like he's trying to pretend he's not watching this, but he's watching this. Imagine if I'm here in the U.S., and let's say I'm here in one of the most black parts of Pittsburgh, and white men start coming to that black part of Pittsburgh. And they start filming black women. Black women are posing, and they're getting all sexy and nasty with the black women. And most black men don't care if black women date white men. They just don't like when black women throw it up in our face like they're dating white men because they know us. No, you don't know me, sweetheart, because you never dated me. And I don't owe you any money. I don't owe you no alimony. I don't owe you squat. All you know me is some dude that you seen park his car on your street. You don't know me just because I'm black. So why do I have to hear about, how your white man is better than the rest of us? I don't need to hear that crap. But this goes on in the Philippines. And these Filipino girls do videos every day. Tons of videos of why they choose white men over Filipinos. And when they say expat or foreigner, they usually ain't talking about a black guy. They're talking about a white guy. And you mean to tell me Filipinos watching your content, good and the bad, it's just peaceful in the Philippines no matter what? I find that hard to believe. I find that hard to believe because YouTube, people on YouTube are making the Philippines, and part of it's true, but even more so, they're making it look like it's an open brothel, free-for-all sex trade. And no matter who a Filipina is married to, you get her, this is what YouTube looks like. You get her on the right day in the right place and the time. She will cheat on a Filipino. She will cheat on another expat. One black man, and he was a young guy, had to be in his 30s, and he was very, very good looking, tall, built, looked like he himself could be a model. He asked this girl that was doing TikTok, and she was dressed like, she was dressed to impress, in the hair and everything. She looked like something out of one of them sexy, Asian movies or something, And he asked her. Him and his boy was filming her and interviewing her, and he asked her because he was also trying to date her. He said, would you leave TikTok if your boyfriend asked you to? And she said, no. He said, why? And she said, because I was doing TikTok before he met me. Sweetheart, you are no different. Filipina, please shut your mouth. This woman is no different than an American hoochie fast behind whore mama here in the America that we are trying to get away from. That is not what people travel to the Philippines to hear. Because we got women here in the U.S. The only difference is they're not going to lie to us. So we know up front. Well, you know what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to be doing my TikTok videos. I'm going to be doing my OnlyFans. I hope you ain't got a problem with that. And yes, I do. Give me everything that I gave you, okay? And take your little TikTok behind out of my house. If a man is dating you, and especially if he's sleeping with you, which I don't advise that. I'm against fornication at any rate, soft or hard. But if a man is dating you, he has a right to expect you to stop showing your goodies on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or anywhere else. He has a right to assume that he can pull you away from OnlyFans. I wouldn't try to date a woman if I found out she was doing OnlyFans, some OnlyFans garbage. But even getting on TikTok or YouTube and dancing like Ting, the ordinary Filipina. She got this old man for a husband. She's on her second child. The man she's married to now don't look like the man she was married to 4 years ago. But she's on her second baby. He's old. He's just as old as the other dude. The other dude looked like he needed a nurse. But this dude's a little bit healthier. He looked, and now unless he went to the hospital and got a new bill of health, she looked like she's married to somebody else now. This is a woman that will sit there and do videos of her dancing provocatively and wearing skimpy clothes and things like that. She's on her second baby by an old fart who stays in the house while she goes out and shakes her booty or whatever for TikTok or YouTube Shorts or whatever. You go to her channel, on the left, you'll see her talking about stuff. On the right, you'll see all her shorts where she's dancing and, Ting, the ordinary Filipina. Now, I can say this because I'm not in the Philippines yet. If I was in the Philippines, I wouldn't mention names. But she's doing this. Everybody here in America knows that if I marry a woman, that's not normal. That's not normal. If I'm just sleeping with a woman, that might be normal. But if I'm married to one, they're going to snitch. They're going to be gossiping about it. They're going to be putting it on Facebook. It's going to be a mess. In the Philippines, it's considered normal. And a guy will sit there on the camera and get interviewed by another expat, and he'll sit there and talk about how much he's in love and all that. How the hell are you in love when your wife is out there being filmed by some dude, okay, with a heart on, while he's filming your wife for TikTok? She's not in a private quarter. She's out there in public where everybody can see her. She's doing it out near the mall or out, somewhere where other people can see her. And you can hear the people in the background. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Do the turn around again, baby. Last thing on my mind when I approach the Philippines. Last thing on my mind is pussy. Ain't nobody talking about STDs. Let's say I'm not a Christian. Ain't nobody talking about STDs. I mean, all the sex that's going on. And then, you got guys out there that are messing with Ladyboys and they don't get caught. Now, most of them will film it. One thing I like about the gay trans movement in the Philippines is that women are very anti-supportive of it. because women want all the decent men on their shelves. And they don't want trans women, gay men going nowhere near that. And if you get caught with a trans person or a gay person, they'll treat you just as good as they've been treating you, but you will never, ever, ever get a date with a woman. And every woman you come near, she's going to come and tell that woman, be careful, because he also likes trans women. Be careful, because we have reason to believe that he did something with a dude. And they'll name the dude that he did it with. He did it with Shay Shay or Sharmar or whatever. Or Emilio, whatever. They'll let everybody know. You have to pick your side when it comes to that in the Philippines. Now, there's a dude in the Philippines, I saw his video last night, where he's so proud of his trans woman. All he does every day is film him, in my opinion. And I gotta admit, he is one fine-looking trans woman. He is one fine-looking trans woman. If the title of the video did not say, dating a trans woman or living with a trans woman, I would have never knew that was a dude. He's small like a woman. He's very small and got perfect everything. In a dress. From head to toe, he looks straight up like a girl. And this dude, and I guess I would too if I was dating a trans woman. He's filming her. And I appreciate the fact that the man has no shame in his game, even though, that's an early death. And even though, you're only getting a quarter of the Philippines if you're dating trans or gay. People won't judge you, but they will judge you if you they judge your date life. They won't judge you, but they judge your date life. You can never, ever date a woman again. You won't be dating any women unless you are like way out from one part of the Philippines to another. You'll never date a Filipino woman for long before someone tells her, I thought he was gay, because he dated Shamar. Or he dated Lilia, who's a trans woman. And I've seen these trans women shopping, and all the women looked at them like, what you want, dog? Like, are you gonna buy that? Like, most trans women don't have the guts like they do here in America to just go in the store and shop. Because women in general know that you're a trans woman. The men might be fooled, but I don't care how good you look like a woman. The women know that you're a dude. And they look at you like, what you want, dog? You gonna buy that? They treat trans women in the Philippines like they treat expats that are like big-headed. You coming around demanding something. That's why they treat you as a trans woman or a gay person. And, but this dude's was taking his trans woman shopping to this festival, and she was trying to run around there like a woman, and all the men was taking a second look. But the women that worked at the booth, they looked at her like, seriously though, what you want? What are you here for? Like, what do you want? You want that? You sure you want that? She wanted that. He wanted that. Didn't know what it was for. I hope that long pipe thing with the little furry end on it, that you ain't sticking that up. Let me get out of here. 102. So I've talked to you about so far what the beauty of the Philippines is like. And now I've told you what the what the sad things about the Philippines are like. There's also a lot of murder, rape, kidnapping, human trafficking in the Philippines. A lot of theft. One video I watched, the dude was filming, and some kid stole money out of his backpack. No, actually, he caught him. He grabbed him. He grabbed his arm before he could get away and fought with him to get his money back. And he filmed himself telling the police. And, you know, there's police everywhere. One thing I love about the Philippines is that the police are on the beat in the Philippines all day long, especially during the day. Hopefully they do better than we do here in the States. Because in the States, you got wall-to-wall cops early in broad daylight, but at nighttime, you can't find the cop. Even if you call one, you can't find the cop. Okay? He gonna get there half an hour late. But broad daylight in the big city, they're right there. You call a cop, all you gotta do is wave at him because he's right there. But nighttime, where the cops at? They definitely eating donuts. I hope it's not that way in the Philippines after what's going on. But you know why? You know why there's cops everywhere in the Philippines? Because some of the cities, I think they're really worried about representatives of Japan or terrorists walking in and doing something at one point. And at another point, I think they are there because of the expats, to make sure people respect the expats and make sure that everybody respects their money. The like the BGC is loaded. There's like wall-to-wall security everywhere. You go in the door, you got a dude on this side of the door and that side of the door to the mall. You know, you go to a store, you got a dude standing out front. You go get your nails done, you got a dude standing out front. You go in the hotel, you got one dude walking around in front, another dude walking around the back, another dude walking around the main lobby, another dude doing rounds up and down the stairs. And you know what I'm saying? It's, that's one thing that I can't wait to see when I go to the Philippines, when I finally go, is to wave at all the security, because I support that. We need that in Pittsburgh. And not just during the day, though, but at night. We need them more at night than we do during the day. The Bible even tells you the crooks come out at night. Drunkards and thieves come out at night. The bad men come out at night. Evil is darkness. Evil is darkness. It comes out at night. And I had a dream about this, about the Philippines. Whereas at night, you got the same kind of thing going on at night you do here in Pittsburgh, in the Philippines. Except maybe the BGC, at night they still have wall-to-wall security. And I did see that. I did see video footage of, it's dark outside, everybody's out drinking and that. They got these guys in uniform all over the place. And I appreciate that. That's the kind of stuff I wish I could see downtown Pittsburgh. But because I don't see that, I'm leaving. But the Philippines needs Jesus. And I think when I go to the Philippines, I might preach the gospel in the Philippines. I really would. I got to. I got to. Before I get snatched up by somebody's young daughter that, waving at the security guard while she trying to steal me, trying to kidnap me. She waving at the security guard. Or if the girl, the young little pretty little sweet thing don't kidnap me, the Ladyboy will. And I'll be like some of these other dudes. I was wondering why this girl was so nice and so cooperative. It's because she thinks like me. Cut to the chase and let's go back to the hotel. If I'm going to be a fornicator, if I'm going to be a wicked person, Ladyboy's not going to waste your time. This guy was complaining. The Black Filipino TV did this video where this guy sent him a letter and gave him permission to get it out there. He said this man was fussing and complaining about all these Filipinos, trying to have this long distance relationship thing with him or whatever. He finally found a Filipino woman. Not a Filipino woman, a trans Filipino woman that contacted him. And, to him, she was gorgeous. Okay. And so the dude said, I'll meet you. Where you at? You in the Philippines? Well, let's meet then. He's thinking like a guy. He's not thinking like a girl. The girls are holding you back because that's what they do. But he's thinking like a guy. Oh, I'll meet you right now. What's the hold up? So they meet. He don't notice this is a dude. Okay. But he said they went back to the hotel and they were talking. And while he was dozing, he said he looked down and the dude was going down on him. Okay. The Filipino, what he thought was a Filipino woman, but it was but he said when he went to sleep at night, he found something rubbing up against him that didn't seem like a hand or something like that. And when he seen this person a little bit naked laying next to him, I guess he didn't see all the way down there. He just saw the chest part. But even then, he knew something was weird once he took his clothes off. And he's like, number one, why do you look so tight? And then number two, why are you naked when I'm not naked? And he said, did you try to, he says, I was just laying next to you. And he put his clothes back on before the dude woke completely up. And he told him, he says, I am a trans woman. And he just looked at him and he felt bad. And he said, I guess the guy got utterly sick when he told him this. So he needed to walk out of the room. He left the room. When he came back, the dude was gone. He never seen the dude again. The dude got out of there. Filipino TV thinks that the dude was probably afraid that he was going to go in there and beat the snot out of him or shoot him or something after that. But this goes on in the Philippines more than it goes on here in the USA. You got whole cities in the Philippines that are ran. And trans women, they run businesses. They run stores, restaurants, and stuff like that in certain provinces and parts of, Manila and other cities. There's a city in the Philippines. Oh, Angeles City. That's the Filipino city. Angeles City. You go to Angeles City at night. They got the prostitutes on one side and the Filipinos on the... Why I keep saying Filipinos? The trans women on the other side. They got Filipino prostitutes on this side and Filipino trans women on this side. And if you walk down this side of the city, they will grab you. The difference between a trans woman and a woman is you don't have to hit on a trans woman. She'll grab you and push you up against the wall and grab your nuts and you better hit on her. Where the women are like, pick me, pick her, pick me. Which one of us you want? You looking for some action? But these men, they'll get right up in your face and say, stop. You want some action? You want some action? I mean, And a lot of guys, if we be honest, as men, a lot of guys, he already got his hand down and grabbing your crotch and looking like that. A lot of guys will think twice and say, well, as long as the women don't see me, as long as none of the fine little, lovely ladies see me do it, let's talk over here, And it happens. And I believe a lot of foreigners, expats, are sleeping with trans women on the side because, to me, and I know this is going to sound controversial, after all we've been through, going from Barack Obama to Biden Harris, and now Trump coming in trying to put things back to normal, and all the trans women, Trump ain't going to he will make some people think twice about going trans at this point. But one thing about trans women is that if you are a man that is lustful, you look out your window every day, you see legs, makes you want to chase women. You see breasts, makes you want to chase women. You see makeup and long hair and all like that. Well, trans woman got that too. That is not a woman, that is a woman dressing up. If you go out every day and looking at women in miniskirts and looking at women in tight shorts and it makes you want to get your rocks off, you're the kind of guy that would be taken by a trans woman. Now, if you're the kind of guy that sees all that and it don't faze you any until you start talking to a woman and then her woman side comes out and your man side comes out and y'all make the connection and that's how y'all end up under the covers together, well, that's different. But if you're out there to get your rocks off, like the whoremonger you are, you deserve a trans woman. And a trans woman deserves you. That is punishment from God for you being such a perverted idiot. And you got a lot of those in the Philippines. A lot of these old white men that may be walking in a walker in a few days. They're going to the Philippines with their zippers open. And they're saying, "Oh yeah, I'm out here for the traditional woman." They are, but they're not going to turn down no free coochie in the process. And biblically, that's wrong. That is totally sinful, and it's dark. It's very dark and devilish. If you are looking for a wife, I don't care how long you've been looking for a wife. I don't care how horny you are. If you're looking for a wife, you sacrifice, you wait, you show patience and respect. You be a gentleman and take your time, take as long as need be so that you can have a wife. Deny yourself sex until your honeymoon. That's it. No in between. But if you are out there because you want to just be out there among women and which one of these women want to sleep with you, okay? All right. And maybe later when I find one, you're leaving it up to the responsibility of the woman to bring enough to the table to make you want to marry her while you are sexually promiscuous. Those two things don't go together. If you're waiting on a woman to see what she's bringing to the table, you're not having sex while you're doing it. You are being a gentleman. You're being very chaste and very godly about it. Even if you're not a Christian, you're being very godly about it and you're going to wait for her to choose you. But if you are out there and you're like, I need sex no matter what, even if I get married, don't get married, I need sex, I need to be sticking it in something, I need to be popping a nut, okay, you know what? You deserve a trans woman. And when you end up with one and you're trying to keep him covered up and locked up in some private hotel somewhere or you don't let him out of the house or whatever, I'm not surprised. Because that's what they were designed for. Trans women are thinking the same thing you're doing. All that surgery and all like that. Do you know trans women, especially here in America, trans women, before they even get out of the hospital when they're doing transitional surgery, they're in a hospital on their phone trying to make dates. While they're in the hospital, getting surgery. They come home, they can't get a hard on because they're taking this transition medicine and it takes time to work. These hormones and that, it takes them time to work. And so their whole body is not working sexually, but yet they're horny as they don't know what. And they're on the phone because they're men. They're horny as God knows what. They're men. They're on the phone thinking like men, but gay men. And trans women are gay men. They're thinking like gay men, and they're looking for dates. And they're sitting there saying, like you white boys running over to the Philippines, they're sitting there saying, well, I want love. I want to be loved. I want somebody to come in my life and love me. And I want to eventually get married. That's why I went through that's why I became a trans woman, because I want to fall in love and get married. Meanwhile, they're on the phone looking for whoever will sleep with them. Okay? And what do? When they get on YouTube or TikTok or whatever and they start talking about it, what do they say? Oh, well, the last guy I dated, didn't you just say you was in a hospital last week? What do you mean the guy you dated last week? You got out of the hospital and went on a white night stand. Or the last guy I dated, and then the guy I dated before that. And this guy, he's calling me and all like that. And we, he spent the night here a couple times, but, we're not going to hook up. Okay. That is not only typical of whoremongers, but it's typical of gay men. It's typical of gay men that may be crazy enough to molest children. You just want sex. While you say you want someone to fall in love with you, you want to get married, and you're out there, you know what I'm saying? There was a video where he looked like a little prince. He looked like a little miniature prince. I mean, he was small enough to be a female. He looked like a little prince. And you could tell that he was a dude. And this dude, they got mad at him, but this foreigner was interviewing him because they were all up in his mic. Like, he's recording, and there were 3 women over there. One of them was a trans woman, and he could tell that's actually a dude because some people don't have the talent to really be trans women. But he was hanging out with these girls as a trans woman. And he understood the other girls to be real girls. But he's like, what's up with you, dude? He's like, what? Don't call me dude. And he's like, okay, why you, and he's like, I'm a trans woman, Now, even after he got offended, he still stood there when a guy apologized, he still stood there wanting him to see where he would go next with the conversation. Thinking that, this guy's going to ask you for a date in between. And by the way, most trans women from America all the way to the Philippines and everywhere else on the globe want straight men. They don't want gay men. They don't want gay men. While I'm at this, I might as well, because it's going on in the Philippines rapidly, might as well mention it. Trans women don't want gay men. Now, some trans women give gay men a chance and they fall in love and they get married, but they didn't know a gay man could aggressively handle that booty like a straight man could, okay? So they gave the gay man a chance and they ended up like, okay, well, we're going to get married. But straight men, trans women want straight men. Okay? They don't want gay men. They want straight men because of 2 reasons. Number 1, because they're gay and satanic. They want to make straight people gay. Number 2, satanic. And then number 3, they want to have this delusion that they're not men, but they're something else or something in between. So they want men, and being with a man is not gay. Yes, it is, because biologically you're a dude, so you're still gay and practicing gay sex. There you have it. And here in America, trans women, I saw 2 videos on trans women in the Philippines last night. And trans women hang out with trans women. They go out and eat, they hang out, they, and they don't just hang out anywhere, They have their certain places in Manila where they hang out. They have their certain places in, you'll see more of them in Angeles City. Okay. Angeles City is like small Bangkok. I mean, you're going to see more trans women in Angeles City, especially at night. But they're all over the Philippines. And they tend to show up, anywhere. And the thing about trans women, if, you going out to the Philippines as an expat, you trying to talk to women and all like that, a trans woman will talk to you. A trans woman will not wait for you. That's how you know the difference. If you see a beautifully gorgeous woman who just come up to you and say, "So, are you looking for a date? You want a date? You want a date? What you looking for? What can I help you with, sir? Are you looking for a date? You like what you see? You like what you see? Okay? Check the hardware, because that's probably a dude. But I remember what that guy asked that guy. He said, "What's wrong with your voice?" That's what he said. He said, "What's wrong with your voice?" He said, what movie star are you trying to imitate? He knew that I was a trans woman, but he gave him a hard time. He said, "What's wrong with your voice? What movie star are you trying to implement right here?" He said, "Dude, that's rude. I'm just trying to figure out what's wrong with your voice, sir." And he was like, started flipping his hair back. "Well, as you can see, I'm a trans woman." "Oh, you I didn't see that, but okay. I see you trying to be all pretty with the hair and the sweats. I see you got little boobies there. Okay. You're a trans woman. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. You a trans woman." And then as he was turning around to walk away he was wondering why the dude's standing there. "I want to talk to these 2 girls. You should be walking away and let me talk to these 2 girls. I want to see which one of these 2 regular biological girls want to date me. You should be walking over there and getting yourself a drink of water or something." No, he went from being offensive to seeing if the dude wanted a date. Or offended to see if the dude, after offending him, still wanted to get a date or something. No. In his sick mind, looking like a dude, he doesn't even look as pretty as some other trans women, but he thought that, he's all fair game with these other 2 girls. No, this is a totally different classification. When a dude asked you what was wrong with your voice, that should have been like, "I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go over here and enjoy the river. I'm going to go over here and get a hot dog or something." Okay? He shouldn't have just stood there and got his feelings hurt more. And he's looking at the other 2 girls like, "What's up with him? What's up with your boy?" Like, Then when he walked away, he said, "Jesus Christ, what the F?" I had to put in the comments section, "You say Jesus Christ one more time, I'm going to pray somebody that's Pentecostal get in this video and slay you in the spirit or something. You say Jesus Christ so much. You should have been in heaven the day you learned how to cuss." I mean, this guy just kept saying, "Jesus effing Christ." An expat, Jesus effing Christ every 5 minutes or less. 3 minutes. Jesus effing Christ. "Hey, how much is it? Jesus effing Christ. Oh, this is so good. Jesus effing Christ." And nobody got offended by him saying Jesus Christ over and over again. There were people in the comment section that are American that were offended, whether they were Christian or not. They were offended by him saying Jesus Christ over and over and over again. And I'm thinking, geez, what do you know about Jesus Christ, dude? I'm a born again Christian, and I don't say Jesus Christ that much. What do you know about Jesus that I don't know? You need to keep saying Jesus effing Christ all the time. Every 3 minutes. Jesus effing Christ. You know, he go in there to get some of these. Jesus effing Christ. I gotta go to the bathroom. Jesus effing Christ. You know, wow, whoa. Did you see that Filipino dude? The trans woman? Jesus effing Christ. You know, everything was just Jesus effing Christ. Let me get out of here. The Philippines, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I might do a 103 if I come up with some more. There are some things that I failed to say because I forgot them. I should have wrote them down. But if I come up with any more, I will share. I'll do a 103. Talk to you soon with more. Thank you for your time. Hope this wasn't too long. But I think I said enough here. And the title alone should make you watch this video. Talk to you later with more.